that when you come to policing, command, crowd control, and that type of thing, I think I can speak with authority about that. And let me start off by saying what I saw there yesterday. I'm talking here particularly about the police response, or not even response, the preparation for that is F minus FF I given them. F minus FF. That is what they are going to get. And I know they're listening. And so therefore, let me go into it right away. First of all, as I've said, it was public knowledge that the VP will be going to this Watuka place there to meet with members of the public. This is not a closed or confined meeting. This was a meeting for the vice president or the VP, whatever that V and the P means, to meet with members of the public. Opposition people expressed that they were going to go there to protest, which is a legitimate act. That is what they say. One would expect, therefore, that the police, and I'm not talking here only about police at the divisional level, but the police at headquarters level, having regard to the atmosphere, the situation in the country, the tenseness in the country, one would expect they would have gotten involved to make sure that proper arrangements were in place. First of all, I would have thought they would have, I don't know if they did, you would have had to prepare an operational order. You know, CC used to tell them about this all the time, you know. When you have these things, an operational order, and the operational order is styled, we say IIMAC. So the first part, and this is no secret, so don't believe I telling tales out of school. The first part of the order, the first I, is information. Now, what is the information you would have had? That the vice president would be going to Linden to meet with members of the public at the Watuga Club. That's information, general information. That was no secret, right? The vice president would be going to Linden, Watuga House, you might, if you have time and so on. That is the information. Then you would have spoken about the intention. This is all written, you know, the intention. What is the intention? Generally, the intention is to make sure that this activity is conducted in an orderly and peaceful manner without disruption. That is what would have been the intention of the police, right? So you have the information which tells you what is going to happen. You have the intention, and these things are written, as I've said, you know. You write it down. It's an order, a special order, operation order, prepared by the commander of the division. The next, you get M. The M is the method. So you have information, you have intention, you have the M. The method is how you're going to police this thing. What are you going to police? You're going to deploy this number of people. You're going to set up roadblock. You're going to throw a barrier. You're going to use the method to police the activity would have been spelled out. The method, what method you intend to use, right? Then you get the A. You're going to deal with administration, which is important, administration. Who's going to be in charge? Who's going to be the second in command? How many people are going to be deployed? Where the deployment are going to be? All of that type of thing. Right? And then the last one, the I, is C rather, is communication. What will be your method of communication? Not only method in terms of what equipment will be used, but your line of communication. Who reports to whom? How frequently and all that type of thing. So you would have had that. At the divisional level, we would have set up, get your operation center, zero in to deal with it. Right? Now, at the divisional level as well, you would have set up your command structure. Right? Your command structure. And again, CC used to beat them and tell them about this. Right? You get your commanders, your gold commander, your silver commander, and bronze commanders. Let me are you tag down a note, man? Are you not alone? You have had your gold commander, your silver commander, and your bronze commanders. Now, let me explain what we're talking about here. I saw yesterday the commander of the division at Watuka House. I said, my Lord, what's going on here? There is no way on God's green earth that the commander should have been there on the ground at Watuka. The commander is the commander. He should be the gold commander. He should be the gold commander. He has to be in a position where he can command his division. The commander has to be in a position where he can continue to command his division. You can't command a particular incident if you're a commander. Right? So the commander who was on the ground, very prominent on the ground for the duration, ought not to have been there. He should be somewhere at the divisional headquarters where he can relate to those who are on the ground, relate to his superiors, and have an overall picture of what is going on in the division. So let's say, for example, this was at Watuka House. Let's assume that, let me say, something had happened now at Wisma. What happened? Commander out of compliance. That is not the way it is to be done. I don't know what training these people have. The commander should have never been there. Never been there. He is the gold commander. He has to be removed from the scene. You can't be a gold commander or commander and incident commander at the same time. It does not operate that way. Then I saw the 2IC was also there. The second in command was also at Watuka House. So you got the commander there, and you got the 2IC there. Who running the division? Who is running the division? Right? And then what happened? So the commander, the 2IC should have been the silver commander. The silver commander is the man on the ground in charge of the operation on the ground. Not the commander who's the gold commander should be somewhere at the divisional headquarters where he can air all the transmissions. He can relate to the people on the ground. He can relate to other parts of the division. He can also relate to police headquarters. That is how it should be. And remember when I talk about bronze commanders, plural, you're going to get a bronze commander in charge of traffic. Somebody in charge of traffic, he's a bronze commander. You're looking after traffic. You have somebody else in charge. If you had sectionalized the Watuka House, somebody in charge in the northern section, eastern, those are bronze commanders in charge of that. You might have your CID man on the ground. He is a bronze commander. So you can have several bronze commanders, but you have one gold and one silver. That is the structure that should be set up. What I saw there yesterday is a clear indication that these people lack the training. And don't tell me as a commander that you get instructions to be there. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me again if a proper order was prepared, all of these things would have been clarified. Who is the gold commander? Who is the silver commander? How many bronze commanders you have? How many ranks are deployed? How they are going to be used? But at the end of that, it's done, so you're done. So you have that, the gold commander, right? As I said, the operational order. I don't have to prepare operational order. But let me say this. I have, based on what transpired there, because what we saw is that at some stage, the crowd that was there, despite what the propaganda people tell you, that there was no crowd and all of that, they tell you what the other large set of people there as protesters. The large set, the Wayne people, I saw people from the called APNU, they were there to protest. Police put up a barrier at some stage. I don't know if the barrier was there from the beginning, but they put up a barrier. The barrier was poorly policed and poorly managed. And people walked past the barrier. Right? People walked past the barrier. Right? Again, I say, this was a public event. Advertised as a public event. So, what right do you have to prevent people from going? These are questions that have to be discussed and answered. These are questions. It is a public event advertised as such. And therefore, one expects anybody can go into this place. You might have your rules that you can't go in with firearm, you can't thing and all. You might have those rules and you have to put arrangements in place to ensure that those things are enforced. Why don't you think you can stop people from going into the who want to go there? So they walk past. And let me say this. Because I saw a particular comment from a person that I consider to be a friend. He is normally on this program. And I'm gonna start off by apologizing for calling you out publicly. I'm talking about my friend, attorney at law, Selvin Peters out of Canada. Selvin, I got to call you out publicly because when I read what you wrote, I was so incensed that I did not trust myself to call you because I don't think the exchange from my part would have been civil, right? So I said maybe it is better for me to call you out publicly. Because, and why I'm doing that, because I believe, it is my view, that you, Selvin Peters, is better than that. And that is why when I had the difficulty back in 2021 with the government trying to railroad the police service commission I chaired, I reached out to you because I know that Selvin Peters is better than what is being portrayed now. And I hope, Selvin, that you would reflect, and I can read what you write. I hope that you will reflect on that and realize that you made a grave error. I don't know what would have caused you to do that. But here is what you wrote, Selvin, just in case, let me remind you, because I saved it. This is Selvin, and they say it is edited, so I don't know what was removed or what was replaced. It is said it edited. He said, Azudin forgot what happened to Mark Benchcap when a group of protesters stormed the office of the president in 2022. Azudin needs to understand his actions. He said actions, he made a mistake, his actions as consequences. This should be enough grounds to seek to have the court review and revoke his bail. Let him sit in Camp Street until his extradition proceedings are complete. If he continues to be a threat to the peace, order, and good governance of the state. Selvin, you are better than that. You are not James Bond, who I have no respect for as a person, as a lawyer. You're not some of the other scripts. You are much better than that. And that is why I said I have got to. I can't allow this to pass. If you are annoyed that I call you out publicly, again, I said I apologize for that, but I couldn't. Selvin, you ought to know, how can you make a connection with the extradition case and say that this man should be reviewed? Let me go into it. Let me go into it, Selvin. And if I'm wrong, come and tell me that I'm wrong, right? First of all, what happened at the case that he's referring to? Back in 2002, there was a demonstration in front of the office of the president. I think Jagdeo was the president then. And some people attempted to storm or go into the presidential compound, right? They attempted to go into the presidential compound. The ranks of the presidential guard opened fire. I think one person was killed. And Benchcap, who was part of that proceedings, and another man by now, they don't remember that, they were charged with treason. They never get by now, but Benchcap was put to languish in jail for a long time on a treason charge until he was eventually pardoned, I understand, by the same Jagdeo. First of all, I didn't even know that the evidence suggests any treason. That treason, as far as I am aware, is a violent overthrow of the government. And even if people attempt to storm the presidential complex, I don't know that they cease. But that is what they were charged for, right? So, as I said, he made mention of that, right? And I say the man was unjustly charged. Benchcap and Bino were both charged. Bino was never arrested. Bino was never arrested. And there are other stories, which I'm not going to talk about here now, involving why Bino wasn't arrested, right? Why? I know why he wasn't arrested, but I'm not going to mention that here now. Now, let me go on to say this. No objective person can make such a ludicrous statement, Selvin. None. And I have to ask the question whether that is a dog whistle. I have to ask the question whether that is a dog whistle. When you are saying, right, that what you saw there and what he's talking about is that Azudin Mohammed and others walked past. They not pushed past, they walked past the police barrier and went into the compound. They never went upstairs where the vice president was, they went into the compound. And Selvin, my friend, is suggesting that this should be enough grounds to seek to have the court review and revoke his bail. Let me talk about that there now. Selvin, this man is on bail in relation to the extradition case. Conditions are set for this bail. He has to require reporting requirements, which he has been complying with. The court, Selvin, you ought to know that the magistrate inquiring dealing with this extradition case has absolutely no authority to venture out into what happened there yesterday. The man is not even charged. How come the magistrate can deal with that, Selvin? Explain to me. How come can the magistrate decide to call him and deal with that? That matter is not before the magistrate. And to say he should sit in Camp Street until the extradition proceedings are complete if he continues. Just like that. I mean, I know that we live in a dictatorship. I know that we live in a dictatorship, but it's got to the stage that the leader of the opposition, and I see that jumping up talking about people like Sage Gunraj and them saying the thing can't be peaceful. And what is peaceful? What is a peaceful picket? Can be very subjective. Can be very subjective. So they were there chanting, because some people might want to say that if the vice president was there and they went chanting and so on, that wasn't peaceful. Some people might want to make that argument, singing and making noise to disrupt. People can say that it's not peaceful. But the people walked through. Again, I have to emphasize that this was a public event. This was a public event. And Selvin, for you to suggest that because the opposition leader and others walked in, the court should get involved. What he said, should be enough grounds to seek to have the court review and revoke his bail. And revoke his bail in the extradition case because of what happened yesterday. Let him sit in Camp Street until his extradition proceedings are complete if he continues to be a threat to the peace, order, and good governance. Right now, threat to the peace, order, and good governance of the country. Selvin is saying again, when I saw this thing, I was so shocked. I know you have demonstrated a certain leaning in recent times. I know that. Oh, God, man. As I said, you know James, man. You are far better than that. And again, I say, I hope you will reflect, right? And first of all, remove that asinine post that you have there. You're not going to apologize to me because you have to live with yourself. But I believe you have further lower your esteem. You are in the eyes of many. Many. Because that statement there, right, is unacceptable, Selvin. And you know better. The man is before the court on extradition proceedings. Put on bail, $150,000 bail. I know the people who you now support did not want him to go on bail. But the magistrate put him on bail with requirements, reporting requirements, which he has honored all the time. And you, as a lawyer, you are suggesting that the fact that the opposition leader had a demonstration, a protest yesterday in front at Mutuku House, that this court that has absolutely no reason, no jurisdiction in dealing with it, because no matter is before the court in relation to the behavior yesterday. Nothing is before the court. But you are saying that this magistrate somehow must decide for escheat or for revoke the bail and remand this man until the extradition proceedings are over. My Lord, man, it must be a moment of insanity. And I hope by now you have caught yourself and that you will reflect. I hope you reflect. I have said a lot. And I don't care if you're vexed. You know, I just shoot straight. I still have you as a friend. Some people commenting, I still have you as a friend. As I've said, I know that you know better. But that moment of insanity should not define you. But it's for you to correct it. Right? For you to correct it. Now, let me go on. First of all, again, as I've said again, this is a public event. So what legitimacy would they have to restrict people from going? What? It's a public event. This is not a private thing. The vice president was there to interact with members of the Region 10 community. Right? So first of all, how do you know the members of the Region 10 community? If you want to suggest that they rent a crowd, they took people from elsewhere, right? It's an open event. It's an open event. So and then when we see all this thing, and then this, let me call you by your right name. 00 Nat, license to Lick Batty, made a post this morning. I don't see these things, commenting on how the place was left. The Wutuku Komplong. He showed a couple of food bags and blaming it on the win supporters or the opposition supporters. Can you recall not so long ago when they had the flag raising at Fort Island? Days after, that place was littered with all sorts of boxes, food, and all sorts. Days after, Nat 7007 license to Lick Batty Bond. Right? Days after, that place was in a terrible state. Nowhere near to what you showed there this morning. No way near. Well, you have comment on that? You have comment on that? And let me say this too, because this is something that came to my attention. In terms of the that fiasco that we had there for flag raising on the night of the 25th of May, where the flag refused to go up, flag would not rise. Flag like some of them say, man, now get up. Flag now get up. That might be reminiscent of enough of them FFs. Flag now go up. Do you know that the warrant of the FSM, the Guided Defense Force, FSM, the Force Sergeant Major. Do you know the true man of the boss? Do you know he was relieved when he's still in the army? Well, let me tell you. I make a note. Do you know, right? That warrant officer, what is the name? The Armon, the FSM Armon of the Guided Defense Force was thrown under the bus for that flag raising fiasco. He's replaced by Warrant Officer Class 1 Cleveland O'Brien. So they throw him under the bus. I don't know if they at least they relieve him of his position as the Force Sergeant Major. Right? They put in this man. I don't know either of them. But Cleveland O'Brien is the new Force Sergeant Major. And it is said, it is confirmed that the reason why FSM Armon was removed from that position is because of this flag raising fiasco. So they threw him under the bus. Armon under the bus. But let me continue with Jay's man. I made a note. Let me read what I say. A bond seems desperate as a result of the criminal charges against him that are still pending before the court. Bond, with all we doing now, seems desperate. You feel you got to lick Batty's more, right? So he's coming out all the time. Lick Batty. You got two charges. I think they withdraw them yet. He had two charges related to some land story, right? Then he must have experienced, he must have expected treatment like what Ali, Nandalal, Ashley Singh, and Brassington get. Because as soon as they came into power in 2020, the charges against those four named persons were discontinued by the Director of Public Prosecutions. And so therefore, James Bond might have expected that once he crossed over there, he licked the Batty and he licked the Batty and he licked the Batty, by now his matters would have gone as well. But Buddy, like you're not licking it enough, so you're not licking it well enough. So he continues to lick. And he continues to lick. Right? But let me say this to you, Bond. God, it's almost 1 year, since they're in office. And they still didn't decide that them charge must disappear. So you continue to lick. But let me tell you, once you lick and your tongue roll down, they're going to discontinue it. That's what me crystal ball say. But they want you to suck up more. They want you to suck up more. You're not satisfied yet with the amount of licking that you're doing. they want you to lick some more. And once you lick more, eventually, it gonna discontinue. Eventually. So maybe it means that you have to increase the frequency of your licking. If not the frequency, maybe you increase the intensity of the licking, and they're going to get rid of the charges against you. Yeah? But when James Man can come out and point out today, he get video showing what happened there yesterday, couple food boxes and small left, and blaming it on the opposition. You know, remember when you had the flag raising, the fiasco they had there, and for days after, that place was littered with stuff, smelly, food and all other thing been there. But Ian see that. These people you have are a disgrace. The likes of James Bond and others. The one were from the Essequibo Coast, initial SH, and then the last two letters apparently drop off. SH, and the last two letters are not OT, more like IT, drop off. That is what they're doing. They have no bloody shame. They have no shame, right? And then for them to be, they're talking, people like the same one, I see they're talking about peaceful, what your name? Gunraj or whoever he is, claiming that, oh, look at the action, and one would suggest it is not peaceful. Look what, this is Agile. This is Agile. In the Pegasus, when President Granger went there, I think the Guyana Manufacturers and Service Association had some Christmas luncheon. Agile in there disrupting President Granger from speaking. He said, leave the place, you're a disgrace. Agile calling people disgrace. Agile calling people disgrace then. Look how Granger responded. Nobody ain't get locked up, you know. Look how Granger responded. That was Granger's response. That was the post, the famous post by David Arthur Granger, right? The famous post. And then yesterday too, at Linden, they deployed, look, the police deployed the police marine section, the GDF deployed Coast Guard, and then later, at the same time, GDF sent a whole truck, had troops in it. And then let me show. Do I have that one there too? Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I have that tape. Look.
Welcome to the camera.
The intention there must have been to intimidate the protesters. That can only explain why they deployed the Marine section. And you know, the same Marine section who could not respond in sufficient time to save those people on the waters, the people who were survivors of the MV Burima. They were there yesterday. Look, they were there yesterday. They were there yesterday, Marine, Police Marine, GDF Coast Guard. Again, you're telling me this is not a dictatorship, right? And they want to talk about how the protesters weren't peaceful. Let me remind them of this one. Look.
That is it. The bottom line here is that Guyana is in a state of dictatorship, and we are not going to allow this.
You see what happened there? That was back in some time ago there. That's the Minister of Health was going to a function at the Pegasus, and finally himself was there leading them, blocked the vehicle and so on. That is an offense, to block a vehicle on a public road. That is an offense. What I saw there yesterday, I ain't too sure is any offense when people move past the barriers. But what we saw, finally himself, I would say that's creepy behavior. He himself was there, blocking the minister, blocking the vehicle that is transporting the minister. They're in the middle of the road. And nothing was wrong with that. Nothing was wrong with that. If finally talking about dictatorship, listen to him, listen to him, listen to him.
That is it. The bottom line here is that Guyana is in a state of dictatorship. And we are not going to allow this dictatorship. We are not going to allow this dictatorship to trample on the people. We have to stand up. We have to protect this country from this dictatorship that is under now. And that is what we are fighting for now. It is not only to uphold the Constitution, it's fighting a dictator and a dictatorship that has engulfed our country. That is what we're doing now.
Yeah, that's Finale himself, talking about dictatorship. And let me be honest, man. Let me be honest. There is nothing that occurred during that period we calling dictatorship that can really compare to what they're doing now. Finale has blatantly violated the Constitution. The court found that to be so. Look at this morning. Look at this morning. The leader of the opposition and other members of parliament are prevented from going to where he is keeping a rally. He is prevented. And what happened? That is more akin to dictatorship when you're preventing people from moving freely around the country. Right? I have to always remind them of these things, because they just jump up and talk. And that is why I will continue to do my research and I will continue to bring you this type of information. These people have no bloody shame by now that is established. And that is why Lincoln Lewis was so correct when he said that the strength of the PPP is that they have no shame. Imagine they're talking about dictatorship. Irfan Ali himself was there talking about dictatorship. This is a dictatorship. This is a dictatorship. Look what is going on now. Violation of the Constitution, preventing people from moving freely around the country. All that you have, policemen transferred, chased, gone away, and thing. And that is what we're talking about. That is what. So I say this again to make the point. You got to come and let me deal with credible, valuable information. Let me see what else I have to say on this whole thingy. I have some other stuff. I didn't deal with it today. I don't want to start and not be able to continue. So maybe I will leave this back for another day. But I think I have addressed the main issues that I wanted to address today. Now let me say this. As we are on to this, as I seek to wind down, I've been talking for more than 2 hours. Time does really fly when you're enjoying yourself, Time really flies when you enjoy yourself. And I enjoy myself. And I hope that you students are enjoying it too. And let me say this. Let me thank all of you who have been reaching out to me. People meet me. People say they're glad to see me. All sort of thing, man. And I am pleasantly surprised by the number of people I would run into who have indicated to me that they don't miss the program. Some people have said if they can't get the live, they make sure that they get it on the rebound, right? They make sure they get it on the rebound. My fans from St. Vincent this morning told me, said they were gathering to sit down in a group to listen to Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption. They said they don't miss it. They don't miss it. They gather, and it's not a one man listening. They gather as a group, and they sit and they listen. Let me tell you this. I am committed to exposing corruption and incompetence. I am committed to doing that. And I will come and I will do it. I will do my research. I will come and I will do it because I believe it has to be done. People are asking me, why you? because I have no fear of them. And let me quote what I haven't quoted this for the longest while, right? And I'm quoting the young liar U.C. Anderson. And I'm saying here, let it be known to all and sundry, I fear not yesterday, not tomorrow, not today, and not ever any creature known to man, irrespective of the office they hold. I am not possessed by a spirit of fear, right? I'm not possessed by a spirit of fear. And if I am to be armed for speaking the truth, so let it be. Thy will be done. I am not afraid. And I tell y'all over and over, one of the reasons I'm not afraid, because I know someday I have to die. And I'm saying this, I said the fear of death is one of the most irrational fears a person can have. Because you have to die. There's no question about that. We all have to die. And I ain't talking like the Englishman today or today or yesterday. We all have to die. We got to go. The good Lord will decide where we're going. So whether they sit on the place on the East Coast and they're planning to make slow into the next coming wing or whatever, when the good Lord decides it is time for us to go, there's nothing we can do. We can't cheat that. We can't cheat that. You have to go. If something happens to you and you're gone, it's because your time ain't reach. Right? And you see what has happened to many of those who were close to them. One man who was said to be a major money launderer. One of them, he cleaning up money for them. Finally dead in a hotel. The other one, who used to jump up and thing us, other thing, he gets stroke, he never recovered, he died. We all have to go. And as we say, karma is a bitch. Karma is something, karma is real, right? And I could sit down there and plan and do all this other thing. Karma is real. And if it's not you, maybe your family, some of y'all get children, whether it's you or they give you it, karma is real. Let me understand that karma is real. And let me say this as I wind down. Remember, this is not an easy road, you know. It is not an easy road. Buju the sister, not an easy road. Do I have Buju still saying it is not an easy road? I don't think I have. I might have deleted Buju. Hold on. I might have deleted Buju. No. Listen to Buju.
I'll make to the corner with a making. And that's where they're meant to take it. Sure. I'll be there for sure. Don't worry. I'll miss them. Bam. It's not an easy road. How many see the glamour and the glitter, so them think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows. Ooh, Lord, every song say these blows. I cry. It's not an easy road. How many see the glamour and the glitter, so
That's what Buju said. Not an easy road. They see the glamour and the glitter, they think of better roses. But it is not an easy road. And then Jimmy Cliff said it way back in the 60s, early 70s. Jimmy Cliff said it too.
But I can't turn back. My heart is fixed, my mind's made up. I'll never stop. teach me I must go. Hey, I've got a hard road to travel and a rough way to go. Said it's a hard road to travel and a rough way to go. But I can't turn back. My heart is fixed. My mind's made up. I'll never stop my faith. We'll see me through. Oh, help me somebody.
Me clips hard road to travel and a rough way to go. Can't give up. Can't give up. But you know, yesterday I should have shown you this. Yesterday, after the activity at Linden, look at your vice president leaving, man. Look at your vice president leaving the activity.
Who must go? Who must go? Who must go? Who must go? We need our election. 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 Who must go? 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 Who must go?
See the man leaving there? The man being rushed out of the place. Security all around the vehicle. Man with ballistic blanket. That thing you saw there is one of the security men with a ballistic blanket. Right? All of them get man, oh Lord. And this is supposed to be a place where they were supposed to be so comfortable. The thing was so nice in their favor. And a lot of flipping propaganda. Running out with ballistic blanket. Right? Ballistic blanket. Running, see men running. Remind me of North Korea. When you see Kim going, security running alongside the vehicle. Must he learn it from there? They must have learned it from there. Right? Folks, as I seek to leave, let me remind you, for those of you who are in a position to assist in the upkeep of this program, right? As I said, thing around for water. Let me tell you the numbers are there, and to thank all those of you who have been making contributions. I have a song. I can't leave without reminding us that Ejila and Indar must go. So I can talk with Cliff Semple first. Here we go.
Hey, who must go? Bethel must go. Kadibai come alive to the nation. Who must go? Bethel must go. Square pegging wrong, bully can't fit the position. Who must go? Bethel must go. Get a lot of people under frustration. Who must go? Bethel must go. And we'll have to up in at the station. Now me ask the question, how we sleep at night. Great big bishop got the whole place blind. Minister of works is not getting it right. It's time we move the peasant from out of his side. Eli said the boat was not overload. And everybody knows said the boat overload. The great big bishop not getting it good. I hope he get some lash with a wood. Hey, who must go? Bethel must go. Kadibai come alive to the nation. Who must go? Bethel must go. Square pegging wrong, bully can't fit the position. Who must go? Bethel must go. Got the people under frustration. Who must go? Tiny lucky up in the street. Well, Mark Phillip is a blood clot puppet. Another Sam blinds black people regret. When he open his mouth is like a sting breath. He would not got life, everything is dead. Lie to the media and he answer like a ass. Some make if you know the boy not got class. When me look on the face, me see a black charend ass. Prime Minister use a cross. Hey, who must go? Bethel must go. Kadibai come alive to the nation. Who must go? Bethel must go. Way pegging wrong, only can't fit the position. Who must go? Bethel must go. Now the people under frustration. Who must go? Bethel must go.
Try we lock you up in the station. Now the government want to bribe the Amerindian. Attack how them love to spend so much million. We better them life and put them in a good position. Politics apply them now and lose dominion. If the Amerindian them fall for the trick, then the two souls want a holy politics and put them on grass and stone them with bricks. Government is sick. Hey, who must go where Jill must go?
You know, let me tell you this. Something just came to me. Let me bring it to y'all. You know, the whole story I'll tell y'all with the boat conveying the leader of the opposition was stopped by the GDF Coast Guard, right? And refused, prevented from going. GDF come out with a statement. The GDF has issued a statement. What the statement say? The Guyana Defense Force, let me turn it around to make sure I can read it properly. Let me expand it, make sure I can read it. For immediate release, that's today, the GDF Coast Guard conducts routine vessel inspection in the Pomeroon River. Article, the Guyana Defense Force confirms that the Coast Guard rank station, the Pomeroon Floating Base, conducted routine inspections of vessels transiting the Pomeroon River earlier today. During the exercise, a passenger vessel destined for Moruca was stopped and inspected in accordance with established procedures, which require all vessel operators to register their journey with the floating base and present a valid boat master's license, vessel license, and certificate of inspection before proceeding. The vessel's captain was unable to produce the required license and certification. As a result, the vessel was directed to return to Charity to obtain the relevant documentation before resuming its voyage. These routine inspections form part of the GDF Coast Guard efforts to promote compliance with maritime regulation, enhance vessel safety, and strengthen security along Guyana's waterways. The Guyana Defense Force encourages all boat operators to ensure the documentation is valid and that all passengers are provided with and properly fitted with life jackets throughout the journey. That is GDF. More bullshit. So look, let me tell you something. I'm sure, as was said, they're singled out this vessel because the leader of the opposition and other members of the opposition were on the boat. They're singled. I'm sure many others would have passed there, as the people claim. They never even stopped them. But that is what they are used for. And the fact that the GDF felt compelled to come out with a statement, you know they're lying. They were instructed to prevent him from, the leader of the opposition, from going. That is my view. They were instructed. So they come up with this BS. No. And the legality of this should be questioned. The legality of them stopping and inspecting. I don't know if they have the legal rights to do so. Maybe they have. I can't say. But I am sure this was selective enforcement. I am sure it was selective enforcement. But that is what you have. That is what I get Omar Khan for. That is what I get Ikena, the Commissioner of Police, for, to do these things on their behalf. And Ali can tell people about dictatorship. Maybe he mean dictatorship. He mean dictatorship. Because they have a lot of them in the midst. Charlie and them dictators. Folks, I have to bring it apart. So sorry for those students who would have left early. You're going to see it on the rebound. And I will play this one as I head out. This one in relation to the captain and crew members, that the crew member and the other man charged with murder. Here we go.
Kangalang Records. Them want one face, we take all the blame. But truth not drunk, yeah. Scapegoat, them find one scapegoat. Big man clean, little man flow, scapegoat. I saw the game go. Somebody have to pay, so them pick good. Scapegoat, them call you murderer. Scapegoat, before them hear your word. Whole heap of questions still they bout, but them done decide who fi carry load. Both all bad, everybody know. Patch pam patch, but them still make she go. True palm boy, nearly dead too. Oh, them plan murder when them sing true. Captain shout, put black crack. Officer rush him, pull him back. Mic cut off, truth can't talk. Suit and tie still take the walk. Who sign paper? Who cash check? Who ignore warning? Show respect. Who inspect? Who certify? When people ask why everybody shy. Scapegoat. Them find one scapegoat. Big shark gone, small fish catch scapegoat. Whole place know. Truth now hide and the politician at. Them say CCTV count everybody. Then release it, make we study. Them say life jacket, they pan deck. Who got key? Go fact check. Them say we day in a blood. How that turn murder overnight blood. Evidence of it stand up strong. Not because the headlines out. Truth not swim with anchor stone. Sooner or later it reach back home. Every lie got shot for the rest. Truth still there upon the case. Scapegoat, nah, take the bait. Justice can't run by it. Scapegoat, hear the cry. Ola Guyana asking why. Scapegoat, time reveal. Every hidden thing I go unseen. Them could chain and lock gate, but you can't jail the truth. Favor me. Who really feel the people? That's the question. And Guyana, nah, don't ask it yet.